Hey guys, it's Savannah and welcome back to my channel. Today is Thursday, March 28th, and I'm back for another podcast. I believe this is number 16 or 17, somewhere around there. We're getting really close to 20 and I'm so excited about that. I know it's been a while, but I have been working on a lot of things and I just didn't have time to film one until now. But I'm here and we can talk about projects and yarn. But anyway, I am really excited because in just, I guess, 3 weeks now, is the great, it's the Great Smoky Mountains Fiber Fair, which is up, just below Sevierville here in East Tennessee, and I will be going to that on April 20th, so I'm really excited to be there. I went last year and I met a lot of great people and found some amazing yarn, and I look forward to going there again. I have a few goals this time. Well, one, I'm going with my boyfriend, which he has not been to something like this before, which will be very exciting for me to get to show him. But two, I am mainly looking for a couple of things. One, I'm looking for fingering weight mini skeins. I have about 6 that I've not done anything with right now, but I want to find about 18 more because I want to turn my first advent pattern that I created, which was for the 2022 advent season, but came out about February of last year. I made it with DK weight yarn, but I want to take that pattern and redo it for fingering weight yarn because I know a lot of people get advent calendars with fingering weight yarn. So I want to be able to make that pattern more accessible for them as well. Number 2, I'm looking for some DK weight full skeins because I am getting really close to finishing up my solid spike stitch granny squares with my Disney Attraction Club yarn, and I don't have any DK weight yarn to sew all of them together and then create a border. So I'm looking for a nice colorway that I think will look good. Probably a neutral in a beige or tan or something like that. But I'm estimating I'll need about 3 or 4 skeins of those. But that's what I'm looking for this year. I really am very excited about that. But anyway, I believe that is all of the news I have right now. So let's get on and talk about some of the finished objects I have. Alright, first things first, I had the wonderful opportunity to be a pattern tester for Melanie over at Sea Star Crochets a few weeks ago, and I was able to test her Sea Star Scallop Granny Tote. Now this was my first time making a granny square bag of any kind, but I absolutely love how this turned out. It is such a fun and easy pattern, and the scallop granny square looks absolutely incredible. This was made with worsted weight yarn, 4 separate colors. I was able to do some scrap busting and repurpose yarn that I had from a few amigurumi and from Ivy's Easter dress. But this was such a fun pattern. So it's basically like any other granny square bag pattern, but since I had never done it, the instructions were so easy to follow, and she had a lot of great visuals, and therefore showing where to put things together, what was supposed to fold what way, and what it was supposed to look like. But this is such a highly customizable bag too, since you can choose whatever colors you want, and the sample that she had made, the handle was made using the same color for the border and the seaming of the bag, but I decided I needed another little splash of color, so I used the red. But you can do whatever you want with the bag and it'll turn out amazing every time. I will link below her storefront and the pattern, so that if you're interested, you can go check it out too. Next, I have been a bit on a pattern designing kick lately, which once you design one pattern, you design all the patterns, as I have learned. But I designed these adorable little earrings. I have a lot of lace weight thread, and so I decided I needed another little splash of spring in my wardrobe, and it's not really showing up that great for me on the camera, but hopefully you can see it better. But these are pink daisy earrings. I actually used a pattern, stitch pattern for my holiday candy collection that I've been making, and just turned that into daisy earrings, but these are only on my Ribbler store, so I will link those down below if you are interested in that. And honestly, I probably could have stiffened them up in a cornstarch mixture or something, but I wanted to wear them, so I didn't. But I do recommend doing that if you really want them to stiffen up and show off that they are supposed to be a daisy. But that is not all. I have finally finished my holiday candy scarf. This is the holiday candy shawl that I made with my 2023 advent calendar from Lofty Loops yarn, and if you've been here a while, you know that I fell in love with the stitches and pattern that I made with it, and I've been making a lot of other patterns with it, and this is one of them. This is the scarf version, but it is just a very simple repeat of double crochet and half double crochet mixed in with blocks of front post double crochet and half double crochet. But this took 2 skeins of DK weight yarn. I used the Lofty DK from Lofty Loops yarn, and this colorway is Spirit Cleanser, but it's not quite 2 full skeins, but it turns out nice and long. After blocking, this is sitting at about 64 inches, I believe it is, and it's about 6.5 inches across. But I also added on the ends of either side the little border from my shawl pattern, so that just adds a nice little elegant touch to it. But that pattern is also now available on all of my storefronts, so I will link that below as well. Alright, and we are still going on my finished objects. Next, I was very inspired by working the granny square bag, and I, as you may know, as I have mentioned already, really love that stitch pattern that I have for my holiday candy collection, and I decided to take that and turn it a bit into a granny square too. So this is the Impatiens granny square. I have decided to call it that because when you work these first few rows, it really doesn't look like it, but once you add the granny square around it, it really does start to look a bit like an Impatiens. And as you can see, it is also a very customizable square on its own. This was my first one that I tested it out with, so I only used 2 colors here, but here I used 3 colors and got that Impatiens look from it. I am probably going to do, I'm not going to promise anything because I don't know, but I may work a few patterns using these squares, but don't hold me to anything because I may not. But I really love how this turned out, and you can find this for free on my Ribbler and I believe my website. So I will, like with everything else, link that down below so that you can check it out if you want to. I believe this is the last finished object I have, but this is the August Disney Attraction Club yarn, finally into its finished solid spike stitch granny square. Again, this is a square of my own design, which has been out for well over a year on my website. I will link that below. But this one was the Enchanted Tiki Room, and I absolutely love how this turned out. I think the color pulling on this one is absolutely fantastic, because it likely was not the intention when Emily dyed it to make it color pull, but with the pattern that I worked it with, it did. But it's just so cool because you can see how it kind of shifts in different directions as the square gets wider and the stitch count more and more, but it just has created this such amazing kaleidoscope effect on it that it is so hard to look away from this sometimes, but I absolutely adore it. I mean, look at this. I am so close to being done with all of the squares, so I cannot wait to get into assembling the blanket all together and see how that all looks. I am just so excited, you guys. You don't even understand. But this is absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, I believe that is all the finished objects I have to show, but what I can't show is I finished my Highland Cow tutorial video, and that is out on the channel already, so I will link that here below and also in the end screen so that you can find it if you want to. But that cow I have given to my boyfriend because he requested that he get it and take it home with him. So it now lives with him, and it has been named Zeke. And he could not answer me why when I asked why that name, but what can you do? I have also finished all of the Easter dresses for my 2 dogs and then my aunt's dog, and I will post a picture right here of all of them lined up. Not wearing them because, well, my aunt's dog is 7 hours away, so that would be quite difficult to do. But the blue one is my dog Ivy's, the pink one is my aunt's dog Bella, and the purple one is my dog Georgie's. So I can't wait to see them all in their Easter dresses. But anyway, let's get on to the whips. Alright, since we've finished with my Disney Attraction Club Solid Spike Stitch Granny Square, let's start with the next one. This one is the September colorway. This is the Tower of Terror, which I don't know about you, but when I look at this, I immediately think it. Like, I know it looks like the outside of the building, but I also see it and I think of the cast members in their bellhop uniforms. Like, can you just, this is absolutely gorgeous, and I love the effect that it is turning out to have in the granny square. But I am on, I believe, round 10. Yes, I have just finished round 10, so my next round is 11, and I am doing these 17 rounds long because anything else and you are losing a game of yarn chicken with this. but this is just an absolutely gorgeous square already, and I cannot wait to show y'all the finished one. But that is that. Next, I've been working on a new crochet sock design. This is going to be a part of the holiday candy collection, believe it or not. That is just what I keep putting out into the world anymore. But this is still the first sock that I have for the pair. But I am getting fairly close to where I am going to split for the heel. But yeah, this yarn is, I've had it in my stash for over a year at this point. It is from Hobie. It is their sock wool, and I have lost the label for it, so that is about all I can tell you. Sock wool, their Christmas collection. But this is actually splitting fairly nicely into color blocks as I work it. You can see how sometimes the color changes in the middle of a row, but otherwise it is fairly even blocks of color. So I am really enjoying how this is turning out, and I cannot wait to get that out to testers because I am terrible at gauging sock sizes. But it is a very simple sock pattern so far. So if you are new to crocheting socks, this would be a good pattern for you as a beginner. There. I also started working, but have stopped working on a new amigurumi pattern. I'm going back and forth on whether I want this to be a cheetah or a tiger, but I have a lot of leftover acrylic yarn from, been in my stash like 3 or 4 years at this point, so I'm trying to use that, but I am just a bit stuck on how I want to increase for the body now from this point. So this has just been in limbo for about a week now, but I may get back to it, I may not, but yeah, it's cute. I also have a lot of black yarn that I want to get rid of, because if you know, you know, black yarn is not your friend. But anyway, next in my whip pile is my Optimus Prime backpack that I am working on making. If you've been here before, you know my boyfriend and I are going to a Comic-Con type thing up in Knoxville in July, and we're going to be meeting the voice actor for Optimus Prime, and I decided I was going to make my own bag for it and model it after the character. So I have finished the belt section and have moved up to the body. I feel like these blocks of color right here are not quite big enough, but also I don't want the bag to be huge, so I'm just going to keep working and see how I feel about it later. I may rip it back, I may not, but we will see how it goes, and I will keep you guys updated on that. But I believe I'm going to have to run to the store and get some light blue yarn for the windows that are in the chest area, but I'm going to look at a few more pictures of the original Optimus cartoon design because I want to know if it's white or if it's really light blue. I have not decided on that yet, but it is coming along nicely. The actual height of the bag is measuring, I believe 5.5 inches up right now. So it's getting pretty big. But I will, like I said, keep you guys updated on what I do with that. But I believe that is all I have for whips. But I do have some stash enhancements. So let's get on to that. Alright, I am a couple months behind in showing y'all my 2024 Disney Attraction Club yarn, but here is the January one. This one is the People Mover, which is just such a chill ride, and I absolutely love the fact that it goes around Tomorrowland and underneath the Space Mountain ride. That is just one of the coolest things ever. This one is reminding me a little bit of Tron Light Cycle from February of last year, but I can see more bits of brown speckled in here. But this is an absolutely gorgeous yarn, and I cannot wait to work with it. I think what I'm gonna do with this year's, and don't hold me to it, I still have to get through last year's before I start on this year's, but I think I want to do a corner to corner blanket. That's what I was going to do with the 2023 Christmas Advent, but I did not do it because I didn't like it. But I think with full skeins of yarn I may like it more, but we shall see. And then February's is the Carousel of Progress. Again, we're still hanging out in Tomorrowland, but I absolutely love this one. Just the main color throughout this is just giving me 1940s and 1950s vibes, and I absolutely love it. But you can see these speckles of color in here are just absolutely gorgeous. I keep saying I love it, but I love it. I cannot wait to start on this year's project, but I have to get through last year's first. Now, my boyfriend was really sweet, and he put together an Easter basket for me, and I feel really bad because I did not do him one, but I got it yesterday, and it is a yarn bag. And guys, this is like the cutest thing ever. And he got a keychain on it that is a Pokemon game card. Like, he knows me too well. But he also got me a couple of crochet patterns from Sweet Oddity Art, which, funnily enough, are for a cheetah and a mini cheetah. And he got me a skein of yarn to start out on it with. So hopefully this will inspire me to finish mine, my own design. But I cannot wait to get started on it, but I want to maybe finish a couple things first. But anyway, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will do my best to remember all the links I said I was going to put in here. But anyway, I hope to see you guys next time. And until then, happy crocheting.